scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies in the last 10 minutes.
26.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
And welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn.
With finals week coming up, I've got to say, Auburn students are going through it. What do you think, Ethan?
I agree, Barrett. We were all hoping for something positive this past Saturday to brighten the mood, but that didn't exactly happen.
That's right. Even though football season wrapped up with a tough loss, we still have a lot in store for you tonight. From men's basketball showing out in the Players Era tournament to our women's equestrian team dominating in the national rankings, we've got a lot to cover. Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Barrett Brown.
And I'm Ethan Clements. I know I'm a new face around here, but I'm excited to share all the updates with you tonight. So, Barrett, word around campus is that we've got a new head coach. Is that right?
That's right, Ethan. Let's all give a big welcome to the Plains, Alex Golesh. He comes to us as the former head coach at the University of South Florida. And get this, he put up a 9-3 record in the 2025 season, which is looking pretty promising when you compare it to the team's 1-11 record before he arrived. And that was just in 3 years.
I think Auburn fans everywhere are excited for this change, and hopefully we'll see a stronger, more disciplined team out on the field under his leadership. It wouldn't be Auburn without a warm welcome, and Eagle Eye Sports producer Sophia Weber was on site to document his arrival.
The Auburn football team finished their season with an Iron Bowl loss on Saturday, but 48 hours later, they welcomed a new coach to the Plains. A Tiger Walk and pep rally was organized by Auburn Athletics to welcome Alex Golesh. He was met by a mass of Auburn fans eager to give a warm welcome.
It's kind of like a family environment here at Auburn, and I think it's important that we show our support for our coach early and that we know we have his back. We lost a bunch of close games, kind of ready for a new change.
Golesh is regarded as a change maker in programs. True to tradition, cheerleaders led the way, and Golesh shared a moment with athletic director John Cohen, who named him the 33rd head coach of Auburn football. Coming straight from the University of South Florida 24 hours ago, he shared what fans can look forward to in the next year.
This is going to be the most exciting brand of football we have played around here for a really, really long time. We're going to play really hard. We're going to be tough. We're going to do things the right way. We're bringing championships right here to Auburn!
Rallying the entire Auburn family, Golesh wasted no time getting to the signature salute.
I appreciate you. War Damn Eagle!
Members of the Auburn marching band performed as he was escorted to a press conference. Stay with us for the Golesh era, and we'll see you on 8A. For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Sophia Weber.
I'm excited to see what he will bring to the Plains, and we'll dive into more of that later in the show. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, so we need to go back to the games before this personnel change.
Right before the Thanksgiving break that I love so much, Auburn football faced off against Mercer.
Not only did the Tigers win, but it was a decisive 62-17 win led by the freshman quarterback Deuce Knight. The tagline of the game was "The Deuce is loose." His performance put him in the books as the SEC Freshman of the Week and the highest graded quarterback of the week with 91.1.
He only needed on start to tie Cam Newton and Carnell Williams' program record with 6 touchdowns. Well, moving on to a game with more of a disappointing ending and a different quarterback entirely. This past Saturday, November 29th, the Tigers faced our rivals, the Crimson Tide. Graham Brower has more sideline details now.
Tonight at Jordan-Hare Stadium, the number 10 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide goes head-to-head against the Auburn Tigers for the 90th meeting of the Iron Bowl. Let's see the highlights.
The Auburn Tigers struggled offensively starting off the night, having multiple 3-and-outs and not being able to stay in possession for very long. In turn, the defense took a beating. Alabama capitalized off mistakes and Ty Simpson led them down the field. After a first drive field goal, they were looking for more, and Simpson connected with Isaiah Horton for his first of 3 touchdowns that night. After the Tigers' offense continued to struggle, dropping passes and having costly penalties, they let up another touchdown by Isaiah Horton. Alabama pushed their lead to 17-0 in the second quarter. However, the Tigers were still determined to put points on the board and gave kicker Alex McPherson a chance to do so. They were able to drive down the field twice before the half, and McPherson made both field goal attempts, one from 26 yards and another from 43, as time expired for halftime. Coming back from the break, the Auburn Tigers had first possession and did not waste their chance. After scrambling for a moment, Ashton Daniels connected with Malcolm Simmons, who took it to the house for a 64-yard touchdown. The extra point was good, and the score was now 13-17. The Auburn defense was coming up with big stops. One of the main components of that was Xavier Atkins, who had a total of 3 tackles and 1.5 sacks tonight. After another stop by the Auburn defense, and only allowing a field goal by Alabama, they were now down 20-13. The Tigers got the ball back and were given an opportunity to tie the game with a drive that ended in a touchdown, and they did just that. With another long connection to Malcolm Simmons, they were set up deep in the red zone for what would end with a Jeremiah Cobb touchdown. With the extra point being good, it tied up the game 20-20. Now with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock, Alabama snuck in another touchdown to Isaiah Horton and went up 27-20. With the game on the line, Ashton Daniels and the Auburn offense were driving down the field looking for that game-tying touchdown. With the drive looking promising and pushing into Alabama territory, Cam Coleman received a quick screen pass and was looking for extra yardage when he was hit hard and lost the football, turning it over to the Tide. Even with a quick 3-and-out and all 3 timeouts used by the Tigers, they got the ball back with minimal time on the clock and could not produce anything, ending the game 27-20 and Alabama taking the win at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
The Auburn Tigers fall to the Alabama Crimson Tide tonight by a score of 27-20 at Jordan-Hare Stadium for the 90th Iron Bowl. I'm Graham Bauer, Eagle Eye TV.
When we come back, our Eagle Eye insider John Prowl will join us in the studio to discuss what exactly happened in that Alabama game and what the future holds for Auburn football. Don't go anywhere.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye Insider. Today, I'm joined by John, who has the latest insights from the game on Saturday against Alabama. We'll jump right in with your thoughts on that Iron Bowl loss. I can't lie, I almost thought we had them in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Ethan. That was a rough game to watch. But the main thing I really saw from Alabama was their defensive ability and Auburn's inability to finish, which has been most of the season. And, you know, we thought it would change with Hugh Freeze being gone, but with DJ Durkin, we still weren't able to finish. Pretty sad result.
So, John, what happened there? Who were the key players from Alabama that really sealed the deal for the Crimson Tide?
Well, let's go to my trusty graphic here. Obviously, Isaiah Horton is a main name to look at. He had 3 touchdowns and 35 receiving yards. He was the most dynamic player for Alabama on the field tonight. And not only that, he was able to dictate the pace of his game by himself. Anytime he wanted to score, he could. Then we go to Bray Hubbard, who essentially was the defensive player for Alabama. His 1 interception was so dynamic that it changed the game for Alabama. They were able to take control, be able to just maintain pace throughout the entire game. And then obviously Jam Miller, who, since we're going into Ethan, we didn't think Alabama had a running game. But Jam Miller decided to step up and had 83 rushing yards this game, taking over the game with his legs.
I know that loss was hard, but who were some players from the Auburn Tigers that stood out to you?
A couple of players that stood out to me, let's go back to the graphic here, is Xavier Atkins, who's been a dynamic player for Auburn on the football field. With his 1.5 sack he forced, he allowed Ty Simpson to not only see the ground, but not see the ball leave his hands. Then obviously we have Ashton Daniels, who's the new quarterback for Auburn, who came in and had a great performance. I don't care that we lost. His ability on the football field changed many Auburn fans' minds and wanted him to stay another year. He had over 100 rushing yards and over 100 passing yards in that game, leading Auburn to an almost victory. Then we have Malcolm Simmons, who's a playmaker for Auburn in every facet of the word. With his 143 receiving yards and touchdown that nearly broke the stadium, I felt the stadium pulse, and I was in there. It was insane, just his ability to make plays.
We mentioned at the top of the hour that Auburn football hired a new coach following the Iron Bowl loss, and John has some thoughts on what his arrival will mean for the Tigers. But before we get to that, here's Alex Golish's expectations for the staff and himself that he shared at his introductory press conference.
What you're going to get from me, from our staff, and as we get rolling, our players, is the hardest working, toughest, grittiest program in the entire country. We're going to work day in, day out.
John, I know this hire was a surprise to a lot of people. What was your reaction to this pick by John Cohen? What are some of the pros and what are some of the cons?
Well, Ethan, I like the head coach offer overall. I feel like it's a B-, but here are some of the pros that I have to start off. Obviously, he's a talent developer at the QB position, with Byron Brown being a near Heisman candidate early in the season, Joe Milton being an NFL quarterback, and then just Hendon Hooker being a player for the Detroit Lions. He's shown to have proven success at that position. And then obviously just his ability to be a dynamic leader, his ability to lead programs. As we said earlier in the show, they were a one-win team to go into that season. His ability to turn that program around was huge, and I want to see if he can do that for Auburn. But some of the cons that I see from him today is his limited SEC coaching experience. Overall, he was a head coach or head offensive coordinator for Tennessee back in the 2022-2023 season. But again, if you only have 1 to 2 years of experience in the SEC, it can be hard to win. But then obviously, his recruiting is a little bit unproven. Just his ability to never have a top 10 recruiting class or even recruit in the top 5 just means that we don't know if talent can be acquired at the same level. And those are just some unproven things or some cons I've seen from him so far.
News broke a few hours ago that DJ Durkin would be staying as the defensive coordinator for Auburn. How huge is that for the Auburn Tigers?
Obviously, Ethan, it's very huge. You could say it's massive even. Just his ability to have a top 5 defense in the SEC, his ability to recruit elite defensive players such as Xavier Atkins, also have Jared Smith on the edge for Auburn. His ability to get elite defensive players and coach them into elite defensive talent is something that Auburn should not take for granted, and just his ability to be a great guy overall.
Thank you, John, for your great insight on all things Auburn football. It's always good having you in our studio. And when we come back, we'll hit the court with some men's basketball and see some championship performances. You won't want to miss the Men's Minute right after this.
Yeah, Sam, Elmo. Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet. And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud. Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia. Julia knows. Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much. But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was...
Welcome back. Let's jump and shoot a shot towards the men's basketball. The Tigers played against the Jackson State Tigers. The orange and blue came out with a huge W, and assistant sports producer Madison Seidel has more on this game. Let's take a listen.
The Auburn Tigers faced off against the Jackson State Tigers today in Neville Arena. They were able to win 112-66. Auburn came out hot and ready into this game, following a tough 1-point loss against Houston on Sunday. 0-4 Jackson State, on the other hand, had nothing to lose. Auburn started off strong with a few quick plays to get the game going. Recently injured Keyshawn Murphy put on a slam fest. Also, a few steals gave Auburn the turnovers they wanted so badly. A lot of Auburn Tigers put on a dunk fest, actually. The Tigers were able to build their lead quickly. Energy was not something that they were lacking. The team put on a show multiple times, capitalizing on Jackson State's zone defense. They were able to utilize a lot of their players. Now, heading into the second half, Filip Jovic played an impressive game, scoring a career best for 18 points and helping stretch Auburn's lead even further. Within the last 7 minutes in his Auburn premiere, true freshman Simon Walker made all 5 of his 3-point shots. Following a foot surgery less than 2 months ago, Walker was able to get the crowd and his team hyped up. Auburn will look to play the Oregon Ducks on Monday, November 24th. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. That's all for me. I'm Madison Seidel with Eagle Eye.
Then the Auburn basketball team got on a plane to Vegas. They started the Players Era Tournament against Oregon. Tahad Pettiford and Keyshawn Hall were elite, scoring more than half of Auburn's points. Tahad would finish the game with 24 points, while Keyshawn was 6 for 6 at the line for the Tigers and finished the game with 18 points. Pretty safe to say Auburn has a dynamic duo forming on the Plains. The Tigers would close out the Ducks with a final score of 83-74 and a win for Auburn.
Tahad Pettiford put up 16 points against number 7 Michigan, but the team was not able to capitalize throughout the game and losing 102-72. This put an end to Auburn's 9 straight win against Big Ten opponents.
Finally, Auburn played number 14 ranked St. John's. They were able to secure the dub, led by young head coach Stephen Pearl with a score of 85-74. Seasoned coach Rick Patino fell to the Tigers in Michelob Ultra Arena.
Auburn will look to play an ACC opponent in NC State tomorrow in Neville Arena. Good luck to the orange and blue. Now, Lydia, I heard you have some men's tennis updates for us.
Yes, Bear, Auburn's men's tennis actually closed out its fall season at the NCAA Singles and Doubles Championships in Orlando, where sophomore Hamza Nazaridanov and the doubles team of Billy and Freddie Blades represented the Tigers well. Nazaridanov opened strong with a straight set win over Yale's Vignesh Goggin, taking the match 6-3, 7-6 after a dramatic 13-11 tiebreak. He advanced to the second round, where he pushed SMU's to 3 sets before falling. In doubles, Billy and Freddie Blades, coming off their ITA South Sectional title, struck first against Wake Forest, number 2 seeded duo, winning the opening set 6-4. The Demon Deacons responded to take the second set and the match tiebreak, ending Auburn's run. Head coach Bobby Reynolds praised the team's progress, saying their qualification in both singles and doubles reflects the standard the program is building as they turn to focus
on spring dual matches. And from the courts to the course, Auburn cross country also closed out its fall season on a high note. Auburn sophomore Nixon Chebby capped an outstanding 2025 season with a collegiate best performance at the NCAA Cross Country Championships on Saturday. Chebby finished 41st overall in the men's 10K, crossing in at 29:07.8. This marked his second straight NCAA appearance as an individual qualifier. Chebby becomes just the fourth Auburn man to qualify for the NCAA championships as an individual, and he improved significantly from last year's 66th place finish. The team just released their indoor schedule last week, and their first meet will be in Boston this Friday, December 5th. No stopping now. And finally, from the course to the pool, Auburn swimming and diving made waves in Raleigh this weekend. Head coach Ryan Woke Amarika and the Auburn Tigers turned in a standout performance at the NC State Invite, finishing second on both the men's and women's sides. The women tallied 1,579.5 points, while the men finished with 1,367. In the 200 back, Ivan Tarazov reached a final. Tarazov finished 5th overall with a 1:43.06 and earned SEC Freshman of the Week for men. Huge results for the Tigers, and we could not be more proud. Previewing our women's watch, the desk has some trivia on women's basketball.
Thanks, Lydia. We have a good one for this week. How much do you feel like you know about women's SEC basketball? Only one player in the SEC averages 10+ points, 5+ rebounds, 2+ steals, and 1+ blocks per game. Is it A, Cody Lay, B, Maya Petticord, D, Flave Johnson, or D, Talasia Cooper? When we come back, Ethan will have the answer for you, and we will tell you all about the women's team that just beat about every ranked squad in their sport, a team that just missed the postseason. All in that with more in Eagle Eye's Woman Watch. We'll be right back.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world. Told you she's super smart. If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at SheCan.
We're glad you're back. Before the break, Barrett asked, only one player in the SEC averages 10+ points, 5+ rebounds, 2+ steals, and 1+ blocks per game. Was it A, Cody Lay, B, Maya Petticord, C, Flage Johnson, or D, Talasia Cooper? If you guessed letter A, you would be correct. It is our own Cody Lay who holds that honor on her own. Another team who is in a lane of their own is the women's equestrian team. One of my favorite teams, the Auburn equestrian team, just keeps getting better week after week. On Friday, November 21st, the Lady Tigers took on number 1 Georgia, and I'm happy to report that the Tigers beat the Bulldogs 14-6.
Taking down the number 1 team in the country is no small feat, and apparently the National Collegiate Equestrian Association thought so too. Auburn Equestrian is taking over the top spot in the rankings. It was a complete team effort, and they even secured the most outstanding player sweep as well. Now, Lydia, what do you have for us from women's basketball?
Well, Auburn women's basketball put together an impressive 4-game stretch, showcasing their defensive identity and early season momentum. The Tigers opened by beating Rutgers 51-46 to move to 6-0 for the first time in 17 years. Maya Pettigrew sealed the win against her former team with a clutch late drive, while Cody Lay led with 14 points. Auburn then traveled to the Hoop Fest Challenge in Texas and rolled to a 59-42 win over UTSA, forcing a season-high 30 turnovers and holding the Roadrunners under 30% shooting. Pettigrew, Ariel Jackson, and Cody Lay all scored in double figures, and Caitlin Dunnan filled the box score with 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals. The Tigers followed with a 58-50 victory over Cal, improving to 8-0 behind Jackson's 17-point night and Duan's career-high 7 steals. Auburn controlled the tempo, held Cal to 34% shooting, and never trailed after late in the second quarter. The unbeaten run came to an end against Oregon as Auburn let a 14-point second-half lead slip away in a 58-53 loss. Pettigrew led with 13 points, and Angina Belloso provided a huge spark with 10 straight in the second quarter. But Oregon had 2 starts combined for 40 to turn the game late. Sports reporter Graham Bauer has more on the game. Take a listen.
This afternoon at Neville Arena, the undefeated Auburn Tigers take on the undefeated Oregon Ducks in today's women's basketball matchup. Both teams are looking to continue their winning streaks and take over tonight's game. Let's see the highlights.
The Tigers and Ducks had a hard-fought game today. Both teams with some great defensive stops and momentum-carrying plays. Going into the matchup, both teams had to understand their assignments. Tigers' Maya Pettigrew dropped 13 points and had 2 rebounds in today's matchup, hitting threes from deep and finessing her way through the paint. As much as the Tigers held their own today, the Ducks' defense was locked down and created a lot of opportunities for them to score. From pass deflections to steals and getting some fast breakaways, it was tough for the Tigers to gain any momentum in the second half. Even with some tough moments for the Tigers, Angina Belloso was able to create some space with her quick movement and playmaking ability, and she scored 10 points along with 3 rebounds today for the Tigers. With many other Tigers players making a difference and dropping in some additional points to keep the game very competitive, it brought a very close ending to the matchup. The Tigers led the game for 24 minutes total and were in very good shape. But towards the end of the game, mistakes and turnovers would cost them as they started to trail. As the clock was ticking down and the lead for the Ducks was very small, the Tigers did their best to maintain possession and try to draw fouls. But in the end, it would not be enough as the Ducks continued to get rebounds and take away scoring opportunities for the Tigers. The Oregon Ducks called the game with a score of 58-53 and now remain undefeated.
The Oregon Ducks defeat the Auburn Tigers today here at Neville Arena by a score of 58-53. I'm Graham Bauer, Eagle Eye TV.
The ladies are back in action at Syracuse for the ACC-SEC Challenge tomorrow, December 3rd. Time to get back on track, full steam ahead. And now staying on the hardwood but picking up a different ball, it's time to talk volleyball. Auburn put together one of its most gutsy performances of the season on Saturday, completing an epic reverse sweep in the second round of the SEC tournament. The number 8 Tigers took down number 8 Oklahoma in 5 sets, 3-2, and punched their ticket to the quarterfinals. Belle Zimmerman set the tone early and never let up, finishing with a career-high 20 kills, 2 aces, and a block. Down 22-20 in the fourth, the Tigers came out of a timeout and delivered, forcing a 5th set that they closed out with back-to-back kills from Zimmerman and Liz Barkowska to seal the reverse sweep. But less than 24 hours later, Auburn ran into a red-hot number 1 Kentucky team in the quarterfinals. Despite 12 kills from Markovska and another strong defensive showing from DaCosta, the Wildcats' firepower was too much, and the Tigers fell in straight sets 3-0. Although the Tigers were hoping to squeeze into the NCAA tournament, the committee did not call out their name on Sunday. We applaud them for a great season and will look forward to the new additions in the offseason. Now throwing it back to the desk to finish out this Women's Watch.
Thanks, Lydia. Now let's roll on over to the courts. Our women's tennis team competed in the NCAA Singles and Doubles Championship in Orlando from November 18th through the 23rd. I'm happy to report that our very own Ava Esposito won in the second round 6-3 of the NCAA Singles Championship, advancing to the quarterfinals. However, her run ended there on Friday, but still a fantastic showing for the Tigers and a performance to be proud of. Switching from those Tigers on top, let's do some trivia about a former Tiger. Let's see how much you guys know about Auburn football. Maybe we should be asking Alex Golish, however, we're going to be asking you guys instead. How many years ago did Bo Jackson win the Heisman Trophy? Was it A, 50, B, 45, C, 40, or D, 35? When we come back, Ethan will have the answer for you. Plus, we'll be breaking down some Auburn performances in the NBA and keeping you up to date with what's trending with the Tigers. We'll be right back.
My parents weren't fluent in English, so in school, I had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We left you with the question, how many years ago did Bo Jackson win the Heisman Trophy? Was it A, 50, B, 45, C, 40, or D, 35? If you guessed letter C, you would be correct. Bo Jackson was honored at the Iron Bowl on Saturday for the 40th anniversary of his Heisman win. He is one of Auburn's 3 Heisman winners. Now, we won't ask you trivia on this one, but the other 2 are Pat Sullivan and Cam Newton.
Now let's head to the NBA to talk all things about Auburn in the NBA. First, we have Jabari Smith Jr. had an impressive 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists in the Rockets' 129-101 win over the Jazz. But I gotta be honest, this week it was the G League stars from Auburn that caught our eye.
One of them is a player I have been missing a lot lately. Janai Broome dropped 30 points and had 12 rebounds in a G League game with the Delaware Bluecoats.
Mr. Auburn himself makes our list to Dylan Cardwell, had a monster block in a win over the Valley Suns that helped him into the Sports Center top 10. In that game, he had 3 total blocks.
At number 1, recent Auburn grad Miles Kelly had 35 points and 10 rebounds in G League game with the Texas Legends. We're so proud of all of their hard work to represent the orange and blue in the NBA. And Barrett, I'm hopeful those 3 might be getting higher contracts very soon.
I'm right there with you, Ethan. And you know where we all got their start. As we move to Trending Tigers, let's start with a player that is currently on the Auburn men's basketball team. First, we have Caden Magwood, dressed to impress before the Jackson State game. I love this trip, and I'm looking forward to all the fits that he has next semester.
Now on to some big news for the country fans out there. Zach Bryan just announced that he is coming to Jordan-Hare on October 10th. Bryan is returning for the 2nd time in the past 3 years. War Eagle to that.
An important member of the Auburn family got to have his moment on the field during the Mercer game. Former running back Brian Batty made his return to Jordan-Hare versus Mercer. Batty was tragically shot last year and has been in rehab since. His inspiring journey back to the football field is nothing short of a miracle. We had to put this at number 1 for our last Trending Tigers. Take a look at this moment.
Words can't describe how I'm feeling right now. All glory to the Most High. Long live my brother. It's a good day.
A running back from Sarasota, Florida, number 21, Brian Batty.
Right here. just thankful for Auburn, and Auburn gave back to me, and I want to give back to Auburn, and War Eagle. I'm just blessed to be here.
We wanted to leave you with that special story, but that's all we have time for tonight. And it's been so much fun covering Auburn sports for this semester. For more Sports Night in Auburn and Eagle Eye Sports, follow our Instagram and Twitter pages. Make sure you subscribe right here on YouTube and tune in every single week. My name's Barrett Brown.
For all of us here in the Eagle Eye studio, Lydia, John, and everyone behind the camera, our producers are Sophia Weber and Madison Seidel. I'm Ethan Clements. This has been Sports Night in Auburn. Good night for the last time this semester, and War Eagle.
War Eagle.